I train to put together races. Like, I don't, the training I put in day after day, week after week is like for something like this to possibly come true. And so when it does, it's like, yeah, this is what you dream of. And I couldn't be, yeah, I'm just so happy. I mean, yeah. I dream about this. And today it came true, and it doesn't necessarily feel real yet. To have all of Canyon here and hang out with the whole crew after, and to be able to put together that day with them all here, it was, yeah, special to be a part of that. I'm like, I feel like I'm still in shock. Like, it doesn't seem real. That was a crazy day. Crazy cool day.
Race morning, how you feeling?
I'm feeling nervous. I'm trying not to think about it yet. Oh, mostly nervous for the start. Yeah. Once we get going, we're good. I'm good. It's just the first 10 miles or so. It's a little nerve-wracking. Please, Stevie.
Stevie, want some food? Come on. Here you go, girl. Stevie. Good girl. Want some water?
Wind up the machine. The staff here at Belgian Waffle Ride, obviously remembering last year's winner, Mo Wilson, has retired to number 12.
The starts of these races can be kind of hectic. They actually remind me a bit of the swim starts in an Ironman where, yeah, everything is just, the canyon goes and it's a super long day, but everyone is reacting like it's a 100-meter sprint.
We'll be joined now by one of our danger women. She is a world-class triathlete and taking her first Belgian Waffle Ride start. Watch out for Heather Jackson! We'll move down to the next side of the ledger. If you were following racing last year, this was your breakthrough stop. Another man from the Netherlands. He is the 2022 Unbounded Champion. It is
And the most important thing is just trying to navigate through the nerves of everyone around you and not overlap wheels or go down super early with everyone kind of skittering about everywhere. So, yeah, the starts are definitely a bit chaotic.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The first climb of the day was definitely memorable because everyone was fresh from the start and just gunning up that first hill, and I knew that there were going to be breaks that early on of who makes it over that climb into that first descent down Quest Haven, where you're bombing down S-curves into a dirt stretch where you had to dismount at like a high speed. So I knew that first climb was going to be super important. I also knew, well, I didn't know, but I realized very quickly that the sandy section, Sandy Bandy, was a spot where things broke up again. I could hear a couple times people going down behind me just because we're going super fast. We were probably going 30 miles an hour, and all of a sudden it's just a deep, loose sand pit that you had to get through, and there were long stretches of it. So that sandy stretch was another kind of breaking point, I think, early on in the race, where it was memorable and it really split things apart again.
Heather! There she is. Yeah. Heather!
The Highland Valley climb on the road was just another kind of mentally tough bit in the course, where I knew how long that climb was. I've climbed it before, and it's steep. It kicks up a lot of times. That, yeah, you just have to know you have a long climb ahead of you. Some of the most memorable bits on race day were the aid stations, our SAG support exchanges that I don't think we could have nailed any better than we did.
Thank you.
Literally, it was, I think, a race changer for me. I mean, we nailed those, and I would literally the race finished, and I was like, that was a key part of the day coming together, was the bottle exchanges.
Thanks, babe.
Keep your arms straight.
And getting exactly what we had laid out, exactly what we had pre-planned.
Huh? Huh?
Do you know what the time is?
It's like 7 or 8 minutes.
Didn't drop the bottles, great handoffs, got the musette bag with 2 bottles in it at one point. So I was just, yeah, so stoked that went how it did on the day, for sure. Another memorable part was the Black Canyons dirt climb. Again, I had just pre-ridden that section the day before, so it was very fresh in my mind, and I knew how long that climb was and how washboardy it was and how it was getting hot there. I was with 2 other guys. They were on the same team. They were riding together, Fullerton Cycling. Super nice young kids, giving everyone encouragement. And they admittedly were starting to feel the heat and I think the length of the day at that point, but they were there in company behind me. One of them actually said, like, let's make sure we're all drinking. So it was a good part of the day with like some camaraderie and supporting each other and just riding together. But I think I lost them somewhere on that climb near the top. But yeah, that part was fun. Just being in the pain cave together up. That climb was super hot. It was very exposed. It was windy and some loose washboard sand. So definitely a tough part of the day.
Just speed up a little more. All right, she's climbing. You can slow a little, slower. Let her catch.
Before you get onto Double Peak, you're back on Twin Oaks Valley Road, and that's a climb. And I'm like, oh, okay, this doesn't feel too bad. Then you make the left onto Double Peak, and I got onto Double Peak, and it starts out not too crazy of a climb, pretty shallow, but then it starts to build slowly, and then you make a corner, come around a bend, and that road kicks up like no other. And I had never ridden that road. And I was just, yeah. I guess I was staring literally straight ahead, trying not to think about how much longer the climb was, because if you looked up, which I did do actually a couple times, you couldn't see where the end was, and it seemed like it was just never ending. So I was just head down, pushing as hard as I can, because I still didn't have an exact time split or I didn't feel confident that, there wasn't someone coming quickly behind me. So in my head, I was just pretending like, you need to stay on this. Someone is coming right behind you. So I knew this was the final climb and it was all downhill from there, but I also was just giving it all I had left at that point in the race just to get to the top of that thing.
Let her catch just a little bit more, just a 1 mile slower.
Once I crested a double peak, you still have to navigate a dirt stretch. So I was worried about that, to get through that, like no incidents, no punctures, anything like that, because anything could happen. So I was just focus. And then I popped back out onto Twin Oaks Valley Road, and it's a long descent down towards the finish line. At that point, I actually had Phil Tinsman, BWR crew, on a motobike, kind of clearing the road, making sure there were no cars pulling out, because that could be a busy road. He was just honking the horn all the way down Twin Oaks Valley Road, and I couldn't wipe the smile off my face, because it was starting to sink in. I knew there was still 1 or 2 miles to go, but I was flying downhill, and I'm just, it didn't seem real, honestly. I was just tucked, trying to stay aero descending. I knew there were a couple corners in before the finish line area, and it didn't seem real then. It still doesn't seem real. I'm just so happy. I mean, it was so cool. It was such a cool experience. I definitely was able, on that stretch, those final couple miles, to enjoy every second, because days like that don't always happen. So I was definitely riding along thinking this is what you do this for, to have these emotions, this happiness, this joy, this contentment that something comes together. You work so hard to try to make a day like that happen, and it was happening. And so I do know, whether it's with experience, with age, whatever it is, that those days don't always come. And so this one, it sunk in. I made sure to really enjoy that last little bit through the finish line, and then crossing that line was incredible.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Queen of California's Heather Jackson!
Usually coming from behind in triathlon, so I was riding so scared, and I was just time trialing, because I didn't know if anyone was coming, and then you get in these groups and nobody's working, so I was just I'm gonna go.
Did you know the time gaps, or just?
No, I had not till the end, but I was hearing so many different things. I heard 2 minutes, I heard 5, I heard 7 or 8, so I had no idea, so I was just pretending it was 1.
How did this win compare to your career?
This might be my biggest win ever, honestly. This is incredible. This is
Congrats.
Amazing. Thank you.
Walker's buying beers tonight.
Yes.
as well.
Stevie Bear. Come here, baby.
Well, look at the setup.
Got all the rigs. Pretty sweet. Got 4 in here. Before the max we had was 3. Pretty sick.
So which bike you riding?
Got the Grizzle and the Ultimate. I'm going Ultimate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.